Strange things are afoot at the Circle K.
That kid is back on the escalator again.
Ain't gonna hurt.
Is my boomstick!
Game over, man. It's game over.
Welcome to the Bargain Bin. He is your host, Ben Mason.
And he is your co-host, Sandra Luketic. And today we're talking 1986's Chopping Mall. We assume that if you're listening to this episode, you have already seen the movie. And all right, man, I am overtired and over-caffeinated, and let's have some fun with this.
Okay, but can we call it by its original title?
Killbots.
I mean, it makes more sense for what happens in this movie.
Yeah.
I get the pun on shopping mall, but there isn't a lot of chopping taking place.
There is no chopping.
No, and when you look at the movie cover with the bag, it really looks like with that name and that cover, it's going to be a slasher flick.
100%. I love that poster, but it blatantly lies to the viewer.
Yeah, it doesn't really tell you what the movie you're about to watch is. But there is one very important question to be asked.
All right.
Why are we watching this movie?
Well, this is our October listener pick, or fan pick, if you will. And
I'd say listener. Some people aren't fans. They're just subjected to us.
This is our October punishment pick.
Yes. I love that you said that, because I'm the one who gets the forms filled in from the fans. You don't see the answers.
Oh, God.
So, I'm glad you called it a punishment pick, because this one was selected by our friend Tim at the Knights and Nerds podcast. If you guys like D&D, check out Knights and Nerds. But I always ask, what is the reason for selecting the movie? And for our punishment pick, the response that Tim actually wrote was, revenge for mazes and monsters.
Well, you failed, Tim.
Yeah, joke's on him. This movie is nowhere near as bad as Mazes and Monsters.
God, no. Have you? Okay, no, you haven't seen this before, right? Oh wait, no, you have.
Come on, man.
We watched this together.
You made me watch this years ago.
I've made you done a lot of dumb shit, man. I can't remember all of it.
Okay, all right. But yeah, this is one of the few movies that I had seen before recording. I'd only seen it the one time. We came to visit you in Toronto when you were still in Ontario. And I think it was more than just you and me, but I'm not 100% who was involved. And we watched this movie together. And I remember when I watched it at that time, I had fun with it.
Mm-hmm.
The question is, does it hold up when you're watching it by yourself with a little bit more of a critical eye? So that's what we're going to discover in the next little bit.
I do have to mention, too, the director and co-writer, Jim Wynorski. Also the producer of the Corey Haim classic Demolition University that we watched together when you were here.
Oh, that was a movie.
I see equal production value.
Yeah, but they had the exact same dollar value. So even though it was a decade later, the money went a little bit further.
Oh my God, what was that laugh?
All right. So we got a little game to play.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
There is technically two, but one of them is so minimal that I'm not going to count it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Two people in this movie have appeared in previous reviews. One you should get. The other one I would be amazed if you did, because there's no way. No, I'd put money on that you're not going to get it because it's so irrelevant.
Okay. Well, I know the first one right off the bat is it's Dick Miller.
All right. Now the more challenging part is, what has he been in?
That we've covered. Well, obviously, The Burbs, Demon Knight, The Howling.
Mm-hmm.
Oh God, there's more?
One more.
Oh no. I don't know.
Night of the Creeps.
God damn it, that's right.
Yeah. He was. Yes, Of course, other than Demon Knight, the roles that he was playing in these were all very minimal, very, memorable and fantastic, but minimal.
Were they all the same character, though?
Because
he's Walter Paisley in this one.
Yes.
And he's played Walter Paisley countless times. I
know it was in at least 2 of the other 4, but I didn't look up all of them for the name of the character. So I've failed you, my friend.
That's okay. You get a pass.
All right,
as far as the second actor goes, I was originally going to say Barbara Crampton.
No.
Paul Bartel.
No.
I have no idea.
Mary Warrenoff, who played Mary Bland.
Oh. What was she in?
She was, and this is going back, she was, of course, continuing with the naming theme, she was Mary's mom in Glory Days.
No.
That's what it said.
Interesting. Are we talking about the same Glory Days? Because I don't remember a Mary character in that movie.
No idea, dude. That's just what it said on the actual IMDb. And it was for the movie, not the TV show. It could have been a voice on a telephone, which is why I said.
That's right. That is correct. Oh, man. It's Joni's mother, not Mary's mother.
I must have just wrote it down wrong. But yes.
Yeah. At the van rental place with Matthew McConaughey. No. That's why they were there. I forget what I'm saying right now. I know exactly who you're talking about. I completely did not recognize her.
Like I said, it was so minute that I don't know if I could even count it, but I was already, looking at all the cast list. I figured, why not? All right, so that is the game, which is really probably only fun for one of us.
I know. I love it, man.
And none of our audience who are just like, hey, get to the movie.
On with it. We need to hear
let's
shopping mall.
Yeah.
Nobody ever.
All right, well, get to Chopping Mall.
Fine. All right. So, Concord presents a smash and grab at a jewelry store.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this mall, Sandro, we return to Sherman Oaks Galleria in the San Fernando Valley. And now, here's the game for you. Where have we seen this mall before?
No, I don't know.
Commando.
Okay.
It's God. It's my favorite setting in 80s movies. I mean, we haven't covered Fast Times at Ridgemont High and stuff like that, but it was there too. It is the epitome of the 80s setting. I love it so much. But anyway, a thief is stopped by a security robot, and no, this is just a Securetronics marketing ad. The woman presenting this does not look human, which really caught me off guard the first time I saw it. I thought she might have been the robot. She looks fake. But she introduces the audience to the head of development for Securetronics, Stan Simon, who unveils the Protector 101 series robots. This is not what we were promised, Sandro.
No.
They look
not.
Awful.
They look like they don't function.
No, they don't.
I get they're off in this scene at the moment, but at no point do these designs even remotely look like they would work.
No. It makes no sense. And I'm already thrown off. And then we follow it up with the aforementioned Paul Bartel and Mary Warrenoff as Paul Bland and Mary Bland. Paul just says, Mary says, they look like the Three Stooges.
Explain this to me.
Following it up, Paul says, I don't know, Mary. The one in the middle has an unpleasantly ethnic quality. And what fucking movie are we in for now? Because I do not remember that quote whatsoever.
I get that they're mocking them, but this is terrible.
It's awful.
They remind me of the Three Stooges. Oh, because there's 3 of them?
Yeah.
Wow.
Honestly, at this point, I'm like, oh my God, they're setting these 2 up to be the most detestable characters in the movie that are going to be murdered later on. No.
No.
No,
We don't even get that joy.
No. The robots have sleep darts?
Yes, evidently. They're not used at any point in the movie, so why that's brought up is beyond me.
No. And they
could
have...
reference tasers. That comes up.
Oh, the tasers. The lasers?
No, I meant tasers. Like,
no, I know. They do use the tasers later, but I don't remember them mentioning they have lasers as well.
Yeah, they do. They say that they can cut through any material.
Oh, that seems safe.
Which is also very inconsistent as you watch the movie.
Oh yeah, no, I've brought that up a couple times. Oh yeah, I have a note right here just saying laser eyes ? But then Mary saying they seem so violent. If they're called protectors, what do they protect? The mall, Mary. They protect the mall. The fuck are you thinking? Then we get a security test check. Can you imagine if the robots just go haywire right now and kill everybody?
Well, why did they go haywire later and kill everybody?
Lightning, Sandro.
Yeah, but that's the thing. I went back and I checked it. And yes, I'm jumping ahead, but there is lightning. But it doesn't even show it hitting anything.
None of them
Apparently, these robots just can't be in the proximity of lightning.
Yeah, they're not connected to anything when the lightning strikes.
They don't even show or attempt to show the lightning hitting like an antenna on a building or anything. It's literally a stock shot of a lightning flash. And then, I guess they're now deadly.
Well, this is the birth of Wi-Fi, Sandro, obviously. They are the pioneers.
Oh, yeah. In 80 what? 6? 7?
Yeah. Jim Wynorski apparently is a visionary. He predicts technology.
Yeah, visionary.
But then we get the credit sequence, and I have so many questions.
Why?
The ice cream kid.
Yes! Yes! There's a kid on an elevator, not getting on or off. He's just already on it. A crowd of people in a clearly sped up footage Benny Hill style recording
Yes.
pile into the elevator. The elevator door opens, and the kid's just got the ice cream all over him. What just happened?
Honestly, I hope the person who was next to the kid just looked down and just palmed the cone into his face.
That would be fantastic.
I know. I wish we saw that, though. Next, we get a couple that are just going at it in the mall. Which, okay, sure. Then another weird one.
What do you mean they're just going at it? Like, you mean they're making out?
Aggressively, yes.
Ah, I thought this was a body snatchers movie and one of them was trying to consume the other one.
Well, it looks like one of them's trying to eat the other one for sure, yeah.
Yeah, I guess just having someone just full out make out with your chin doesn't look so bad anymore, does it?
No, you are correct. Correct. The next shot we get is just incredibly depressing. It's just a woman who obviously hates her job. Cut to people having an actual fight over an arcade game. Women in bathing suits advertising the mall. The people are already in there. You don't need to advertise the mall to them.
I love the guy on the escalator coming up who just falls down all over his boxes.
Yeah.
It's like, you've never seen a woman in a bathing suit before to the point that your legs give out when you're motionless?
I mean, we've all been there, man. Give him a break.
I can see if he trips because he's walking and he looks away. You're standing on an escalator. How do you fall?
Oh, God.
They might as well have had him, like, turn his neck full tilt around and just fall over the side of the escalator. At least I would have gotten a better laugh out of it.
First death of the movie. And it's very 80s. There is so much red everywhere. And it's not a complaint. I love how much it draws me into this 80s setting, into this weird, unrealistic 80s world, because everything we've seen so far is absolutely ridiculous. But it's enjoyably ridiculous. Like, we're laughing about this. Like, it's fun. It's
I might be
stupid,
laughing about it now.
but it's fun. Oh, we'll laugh.
There was a large portion of this that I wasn't laughing at when it was running.
Oh my God. I was laughing the entire time.
All right.
We see a Slumber Party 2 Massacre. Slumber Party 2 Massacre. Slumber Party Massacre 2 poster in a pizzeria, which I love, but also a Lost Empire poster, both directed by Wynorski. But in this pizzeria, we see two things that really throw me off. The smoking cook with food all over himself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And the customer with food all over himself.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
These are the only two overweight people in the movie, and they're just making fun of them for being big.
Well, I mean, the cook is working hard. He slaves all day over this slop.
Yes, as he says. But you look at the
He doesn't
shit,
say that.
I thought he did.
No,
All right,
the
never mind.
cook in Universal Soldier says that.
Oh, that's right.
This is my second callback to a previous episode so far.
The food that's all over the cook, you don't make in a pizzeria. You don't use in a pizzeria. The customer is just disgusting. And a sight gag that repeats for no reason. So these are comedy elements in a horror film, and I'm not sure if they're trying to lighten the mood of a ridiculous film or if this is actually just a comedy with horror elements. What do you think?
It stops being funny very quickly.
Oh, I disagree.
For different reasons.
Yeah. You're right. I guess it's kind of the lightheartedness leading into a darker element.
Fine. Let me rephrase. Their attempt at comedy ends very quickly.
Agreed. But here in the pizzeria, we meet Allison, played by Kelli Maroney, and Susie, played by the great Barbara Crampton, who are two servers at the establishment. Their conversation here is not only pointless, but awkward. Because they're talking about a barbecue that they're going to where Allison won't know anybody. And Susie says, well, that is until after tonight. We don't need that.
What does the barbecue have to do with tonight?
It doesn't. It doesn't. I noticed that immediately. I'm like, we're talking about tomorrow? We know this movie doesn't go past tonight. Really? In the morning, maybe, but...
They're building a universe. These people have stuff going on outside of these days.
I said visionary, but you're giving way too much credit. But your favorite part, that night, a lightning strike hits the mall.
Hey, we completely forgot the conversation with the cook.
Do you want to cover it? Because I don't think that's necessary.
Well, I just wanted to point out that I like this cook.
What?
Like, I really do like this character. I wish he was in more of it. Allison picks up the plate. It's hot. She drops it. Okay, she's at 1 week at her job.
Mm-hmm.
I guess it's okay because Susie's been there a while and she has no problem saying that the customer is an orca that beaches there every night.
Yeah.
But the cook is like, you're breaking my heart. And I'm just like, this guy's pretty entertaining. Put him in more of the movie.
No, God, no. He's terrible.
Yeah, but like, everybody is.
Yeah, honestly, a lot of the main cast here, I just couldn't keep them straight. I didn't know who was who for the
I would have been totally fine with a couple more scenes with this guy.
Okay, yeah, throw him in a few more. But as I was saying, the lightning strike hits the mall.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yes.
There's a lightning strike. It doesn't hit the mall.
Yeah, it does.
No, it doesn't.
Yes, it does.
No.
Yes.
There's just a lightning strike.
It definitely hits the mall.
Okay.
It might not hit the mall.
No. It's a stock image of a lightning bolt.
But it creates an electrical surge that confuses the cigarette-smoking, pepperoni-eating technician Marty, who is watching the boards. But his confusion is waned by some pornography. And now the robots have become sentient and kill him.
Okay.
Oh, you have a problem with this scene?
Yes.
do tell.
Oh, one, I love how you say power surge, and we didn't even get shitty 80s, like, electric special effects to show that. But the robots wait until he lifts his magazine, and then the one in the front like turns its head to the other one.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you guys need to communicate this stuff
with glances.
What was going to happen? The other robot in the back is just like shaking his head. No,
too early. Wait.
It's just like, if you're going to kill him, just kill him. There's no need to make it seem like you guys are communicating. Hey, are we doing this? Is this it? Is this our jailbreak? What do you think, man?
We're down.
And then, of course, like, he puts the magazine down for a second, and the robots pretend like, oh, nothing's happened. It's like, what's the point of stealth right now, robot? That's the only person in the room.
Also, this is the only time they're stealthy, is when they're not doing a thing.
They do it again with the other technician.
Yes, but I mean, that's the only way they can be stealthy, because they can't stealthily move anywhere. I'm
not sure these things actually move.
And I say that because I'm going to refer to it later on.
and then, of course, it punches right through the nudie magazine.
Yep.
With a hand that can only resemble one of those plastic, like, grab-em toys you had on a stick.
Oh, it's awful.
And it just, like, pokes him in the neck and he's dead.
Yes.
It's so bad.
Everything about this movie is awful. It's fantastic.
Oh, God. Okay, keep going.
Okay, well, we meet Mike, played by John Terlesky, Greg, played by Nick Segal, and Ferdy, played by Tony O'Dell. And Ferdy's tasked to look after the furniture store while the manager, who is his uncle, is out.
Is Ferdy his full name?
Ferdy Meisel? Meisel?
No, like his full first name is
Ferdy. I'm assuming Ferdinand.
Maybe Ferdinand. It's such a bad name.
You actually thought about this. Okay. I just accepted it.
Well, because the first time I watched it, I'm not even kidding. I'm like, are they calling him Birdie?
I have no problem with the name Birdie.
Well, but then it's a little more obvious that it's a nickname at that point, right?
Yeah.
And then I'm like, no. His name's Ferdy. Is that?
It is a weird choice. You're right. I like your Birdie idea. What's the plan at the furniture store?
So wait till it closes and then have a sex party.
Yep. As you do. We get more introductions with Rick and Linda as they fix their broken truck. And from the conversation, are we to assume that they're married?
That was the impression that I got, yes.
But aren't they supposed to be like in high school? Even though they're definitely in their 30s.
I don't think anybody in this is in high school. They probably are meant to be, but this is complete 80s. Let's cast 30 to 40-year-olds as high schoolers.
Will you look up different, like a plot synopsis from different websites, and they are always referred to as teenagers.
Well, I mean, they do say things like, oh, I got to call my parents and stuff like that, right? There is definitely because I don't know if they actually say teenagers, but it's definitely heavily implied.
So having married teenagers, very rare for a teen horror film. I'm not going to say I liked it, but it was interesting to see a variance from the formula.
What part of this movie, requires this to be teens?
None of it.
None of it, because these could just be 20-somethings trying to make it in the world.
Doesn't even have to be 20-somethings. They could be any age. In fact, the older they are, the more believable their plan is.
Well, I mean, if the older they are, maybe they should have their own place to have a sex party, but...
You gotta have a sex party in a mall.
All right. Well, I'll tell you one thing. I'm glad I wasn't going and testing mattresses at the mall after this.
Okay, honestly, you never want to do that anyway. Because I 100% guarantee something like this has happened. Quick recap. The couples in the movie are eventually Allison and Ferdy. Wait, no. Yeah, Allison and Ferdy. Susie and Greg, I believe. Rick and Linda, and Mike and Leslie. I couldn't keep the names straight, like I said, for the first half, 3/4 of the movie. And honestly, it doesn't really matter.
I didn't even try. What does it matter?
Yeah. Mike meets Leslie at the clothing store where she works, and they talk evening plans, but they're interrupted by her father, who is the manager.
Yes.
Probably the most awkward conversation.
Yes.
Also, Mike never had to speak a word before I already started hating him.
Okay.
Well, it's that smug, gum-chewing, Tom Cruise chiclet teeth look. He's irritating.
So you're a hater.
Yeah, I am.
I love how we're supposed to believe these are teenagers, and even Leslie's lie about like, oh, he's gonna take me to the birthday party is so poorly delivered. It's like, come on, even a teenager is gonna be quicker than that.
Yeah, can you imagine the disappointment in her father? He's like, come on, you're at least smarter than that. Please tell me I'm doing a decent job at raising a child. I failed horribly.
How is this my 30-year-old daughter?
Just go. Get out. You're fired. The next scene confused the shit out of me.
Oh.
Susie and Allison change after work.
Yes.
Where are they?
Locker room.
At a pizzeria?
Sure, why not?
That has a shower?
Well, I don't know about that.
Well, judging by the half-naked girl that walks by with a towel, I'm assuming there's a shower there. I am so confused.
Maybe it's like a more public kind of thing, like the mall.
Oh yeah, the
shower bathrooms.
Public showers at the mall.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know about the shower part. The change room would make sense, but
no, it doesn't. Having lockers in a back room makes sense. Not having a fucking change room.
How else are you going to get nudity into the movie, man?
That's a very good call. The Killbots kill another technician. And the mall is now closed.
That's it for the other technician?
I just ran past it, unless you want to go deeper into it.
Well, it's a callback to what I was saying earlier, because this is the other time that they're stealthy.
Yes.
Because it is one of those almost like Saturday morning cartoon things where he's looking at them and they don't move. And then he turns his back and the one moves a little bit closer. And then they stop because the phone rings, because for some reason they can't just let it ring with the guy dead. It's just such a ridiculous scene.
Yes, that's why I skipped it.
All right. I forgot we don't talk about ridiculous scenes here.
No, we're talking chopping mall.
Okay, you don't want to talk about ridiculous scenes? I'll take over the plot synopsis, all right? And then the credits rolled. Done. I skipped all the ridiculous scenes.
You're a jerk. Party time at the furniture store, Sandro. Some of the worst dancing I've ever seen.
Terrible.
And honestly, it rivals Crispin Glover in Friday the 13th, Part 4.
And then there's another couple that's just on the dance floor making out. I didn't even pay attention to which one it is, but it's like...
Oh, it's that motherfucker Mike, I guarantee it.
Again with that. All right, get over it. But this is terrible. This is not what a party would look like.
No. But the beers are flowing, and everyone seems to be having fun, except for Ferdy. But love at first sight for Ferdy and Allison.
Who both said they didn't want to be there.
Yeah.
Prior to meeting, Allison's like, I don't want to go. And Susie's like, you gotta go. We're going to set you up. And then the guys are like, come on, Ferdy, you gotta go. And he doesn't want to go. It's like, what? These two dudes don't set him up. They don't need to be here.
Well, they need Ferdy because it's his uncle's furniture store.
Well, they say it's so that Ferdy doesn't rat them out.
Yeah.
But I don't feel like Ferdy would rat them out anyway.
I don't think so either. But it is love at first sight, and this provides us with, I would say, our first unbelievable moment of the movie.
Oh, our first one. Okay. Yep. Do tell.
No, that's okay. It's just I'm going to leave it at that. Everything's been pretty good so far. Oh, God. You can't say that convincingly. Anyway, the Killbots are on patrol, and they look even worse here. So incredibly cheap. And we were talking stealth before. These things are so goddamn loud.
It's like a generator moving through each floor.
Any thief would hear them coming and just hide until they pass. It makes no sense.
It's also one of those symptoms of they move so incredibly slow, but they do cuts later in the movie to make them look like they're faster by just moving them closer when they're off camera, because these things can't move.
No, God, no. Not even like a walking pace. They're just sliding slowly across the floor almost. But everybody is ready for sex now.
Well, yeah, they've had 15 minutes of dancing.
Yeah, and drinking, and now they're pairing off in the showroom of a furniture store.
No need for privacy, I guess. Just put up a sheet.
You've never had sex with somebody while other couples around you are doing the same?
Well, I mean, as long as there's a sheet.
You don't really need that.
No, because you build emotional walls.
No holds barred?
Third callback.
Nice. That is everybody except Allison and Ferdy, who are watching an old sci-fi B movie. Attack of the Crab Monsters, I think. Next, we get my favorite part, Sandro, and most likely yours. The great Dick Miller.
Who's that?
Oh, yeah, he plays this guy called Walter Paisley a lot. I mean, he's pretty forgettable.
I don't think I've seen him before.
Really detestable, yeah, completely forgettable. Just one of our favorite actors of all time. Honestly, man, he always makes me smile.
Yeah, but explain the scene to me.
He is mopping up a mess, gets heckled by two other custodians.
They were drinking beer.
Yeah. And is immediately murdered.
All right. Well, that was
Dick Miller, everybody.
Yeah. By the way, he's mopping with like the dirtiest mop water you've ever seen.
Oh, it's always dirty mop water, dude. Have you ever mopped before? That shit gets dirty fast. I don't fucking know. It is a pretty fun scene, though. He gets electrocuted.
Oh, I love when it shoots like the taser thing, and it just falls next to his foot. He's like, "What the hell was that?"
Yeah, it's pretty fun. It is the best laugh of the movie for sure. I wish we had more time with him.
We say that every time he's on a movie.
Well, that's because he's great. Anyway, post-coitus Leslie makes Mike go buy her cigarettes from a vending machine out in the hallway.
With promises of more coitus.
Yes. And we get added nudity.
Yep. This is the third scene of nudity.
Yeah.
Because you didn't mention the part where Greg was like, "You smell like pepperoni."
Oh, no, that made me cringe.
And then Susie starts walking away, and Greg, to make the save, says, "I like pepperoni." Boom.
Yep.
Top off.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a Barbara Crampton special.
Oh, you sweet talker, you like pepperoni?
That makes me uneasy. Mike's reaction to the cigarette prices: $1.25. Dude, just wait. It's not going to get any better.
Yeah, remember a time when you could get cigarettes just in a vending machine?
Sadly, yes, I do.
I do not.
Yeah, it trailed off pretty much in the late 80s, early 90s, but I remember it.
That's crazy.
Somehow, these incredibly loud killbots, moving all around the mall, one of them manages to sneak up on him, tases him, and slashes his throat. How?
I don't know, man. I don't know.
I couldn't think up a reason or a way either. But there was a great Klaatu Barada Nikto reference.
Yeah. It was a good moment for Mike.
Yeah. The only one. Because fuck Mike.
I mean, how many moments does he even have in total?
Who cares? He's dead and I'm happy.
He's the first main cast victim.
Yes.
Okay, see you later.
cut to a crazy butt shot of Leslie, who's out looking for Mike. And she also does not last long.
Okay, here's where the consistency of the lasers come in.
Oh, yeah. No, this is
This
ridiculous.
robot that is clearly not able to keep up with her speed-wise is doing so because of the way they cut it. Shoots her like 3 times, like once in the ass, once in the back, and it just like singes her clothing.
Yeah.
And then what's the final shot?
Only the sound effect, because they don't have the budget to actually make it look right.
And what is the power of the final laser shot?
Oh, well, obviously it's going to just explode her head.
Okay, why didn't the first couple shots do more damage?
This happens time and time again in this movie.
This laser can cut through any material except for 30-year-old teenage butt.
Well, I mean, it's pretty special. Everybody's watching the murder from the store windows.
Yes.
And one of the killbots sees them inside, or saw them inside earlier, actually, and did nothing. So why now?
I was gonna say maybe it's because it was before the metal doors to the mall closed, but that didn't stop them from killing victims prior to that, so I have no actual good reason.
The metal doors haven't closed yet.
Oh, jeez.
That somehow happens, like, in the middle of the night. Yeah. Exactly.
These seem like easily remedied issues with the writing. Just have the doors close right away.
Yeah. And when I was reading up a little bit on this movie, the movie was greenlit without a script. They just sent an idea. And, like, done. And I was like, okay, so they wrote the script over, what, like a day? 2 days, maybe? It's like 5 or 6 weeks. And this is what they came up with.
I'm fairly confident you and I could write a better script in a day.
Oh, definitely. But
would we be able to deliver on that script? Maybe, I don't know, but we could write a better script.
I mean, we could try. I'm down.
I'm fairly certain that I have some, forks and knives in my kitchen. I could make more deadly looking robots.
You just have to tape a fork and a knife together. And it would be better.
I don't know.
But the killbots team up and enter the store after shooting out the windows.
How did they even get there? These robots seemingly were all on their own floor. I'm guessing because they can't travel well. Like, they ain't going up and down an escalator. But now all of a sudden 2 have converged?
Yeah, there was only 3 of them. 1 per floor of the mall. And 2 of them just show up.
I thought that was strategic because it's like, these things clearly can't climb to another floor. So let's just make 1 for each floor.
Exactly.
Did it make a difference that there was 2 going in? I still would have ran from 1. It just blew that girl's head off.
Yeah, exactly. And these things just open fire and destroy everything. So apparently it takes a while for the lasers to do anything to skin. But furniture, no problem.
It's not the skin. Think about it. The first shot hit her butt. Underwear.
The underwear.
The second shot hit her back. She was wearing a shirt. The third shot hit her head. No protective fabric.
That's right. It was the Playboy silk that did it. Interesting. I think we just added to this movie.
No, we didn't.
No, fuck no, we didn't. I mean, there are feathers everywhere. And the kids escape. But anyway, they escape to the back room, and the doors just stop the robots.
Yes, because because these lasers can break through everything, apparently, including the front doors to the store, but not the storeroom doors.
No. But don't worry, Sandro, because for some reason, these robots have plastic explosives as well.
I don't remember that in the demonstration.
You'd think that would come up. You think that would be a feature mention? Don't
Even
worry.
Mary Bland is like, they look really aggressive. And he's like, oh, they're just guardians. It's like, maybe at that point you should have mentioned the plastic explosives.
These are our assault robots. Not really protectors. We just renamed them.
That demonstration guy even says these things are just for detaining people. Then why do they need these lasers that can destroy any non-fabric material?
Yeah. They should not have the capability of blowing shit up. I can't. Oh my God, it's breaking my brain. Now the mall security doors lock shut, trapping them in until the next morning.
There wasn't already a pending threat.
This fucking movie. I would have definitely run for the exits.
Why not just have the doors closed before you see the janitor scene?
Yeah. Seriously. And if it was just one robot per floor, fucking run behind it. Just stand behind it.
Just put a metal pipe down in front of its foot track.
Yeah. They move so slow. I mean, obviously it would take a while before morning, but still. The girls climb into the air ducts, but Susie's claustrophobia begins to take over.
Because it's an air conditioning duct, but it's hot. They must have turned up the heat knowing that they were going to do that.
I don't know if you've ever been in a mall after hours. The AC gets shut off as the place closes, and it gets real warm real fast.
Well, I'm just saying what they said. Robots must have known.
So are we led to believe that the robots can now connect to the board? Well, I guess they are, because that's kind of how they try.
At one point, Ferdy thinks they took over the phones.
Yeah. There is 2 weird phone scenes, though. The one tech answers the phone. He's like, hello. What do you mean, who is this? You called me. I did have a chuckle at that.
It's so unnecessary.
The guys are on the hunt for weapons, and they run to Peck and Paw's sporting goods store, and we get probably one of the best lines of the movie. How are we going to get in? Don't worry. I've got the keys. And just smashes the window.
I like that.
I like that too. The one thing I didn't like was the artillery in the sporting goods store. Jesus Christ, America.
It's 80s America, man. It makes sense.
Oh my God. I love how they arm up Greg with a shotgun, Rick with an assault rifle, and Ferdy with a revolver and a propane tank.
Yep.
They open fire on one of the killbots. And this robot is shooting at all of them who are out in the open. And
not even trying to take cover.
No, and none of them get hit once. And eventually they blow it up with the propane tank. Ridiculous, yes, but not the worst scene. It was kind of fun.
What was that? What is that? It's robot blood.
Oh my God, that was great.
It's oil. Just say oil.
It's robot blood. That's what oil is. Which confuses me immensely when well, I'm not going to say spoiler because everybody should know this, when it just shows up later on.
Yeah, well, we see it get back up.
Yeah, but
it repairs itself.
Oh, I guess. Repair fuel line. Susie can't take the vents anymore, and they're forced to bail into an auto parts shop, which I don't think I've ever seen in a mall before.
They haven't been to this mall.
No. At Sherman Oaks, I would love to go. Road trip.
I'm pretty sure that the mall won't be the same as in this movie.
The Galleria has definitely changed, but still, I would love to go. But then, I mean, I don't really want to go to the San Fernando Valley again. The guys grab more propane tanks and force their way into an elevator. Linda improvises and starts stuffing rags into gas cans.
Yes.
Which is an interesting idea, but I don't know how that would stop a robot.
Go boom.
But that wouldn't explode.
Everything in movies explodes.
Yeah, you're
especially
right.
gasoline
And grenades.
Yes.
The guys rigged the propane on top of an elevator.
Can we quickly mention this conversation?
Fucking go for it. I skipped by it. I'm like, I'm not even touching this. But yes, we can, Sandro.
So it's Greg asks Rick, is it? I told you I didn't bother. I didn't bother to learn their names.
I had to go back over this movie repeatedly just to get the name straight.
Greg asks Rick, "How much do I owe you for the beer?" Rick responds with, "Don't worry about it, but if we get out of here, you can get me a 6-pack." What happened to "don't worry about it"? Who wrote this?
Yeah, it's not really concerned, but if we get out of here alive, motherfucker, you replace that beer. Oh, fuck. The girls are chased by a killbot, and they try to take a stand, but are confused when their flaming gas can doesn't stop a fucking robot. What did I say? Who? Why? Linda, no, why would you think that would work? But one of the killbots shoots Susie's gas can, setting her ablaze and killing her.
Luckily, she was laying on the ground, not moving.
Yes, thank God.
She must have seen a woman in a bikini.
Just collapsed. Thank God she wasn't on an escalator.
Ooh.
Elevator trap worked, though. With a robot inside, everybody shoots the propane tanks, blowing it up.
Everybody shoots at the propane tanks. It's Allison.
It's Allison, that's right, who blows
Shows up like a badass.
Oh, come on now.
Actress who looks like she's never held a gun before. Hits it in one shot. And then, of course, the propane tanks do your favorite thing. They explode into fire.
Well, they would explode. That is legit. They all regroup in the pizzeria. And my next note just says, "Now is not the time to drink, Greg." They're all super stressed out, and he's just pounding Heineken.
Well, I mean, yeah. You just watched Leslie get... No, not Leslie. Susie. No, yeah, Susie. Damn it, names. You just watched Susie get killed, right? Or he saw her remains, the fiery remains.
Linda's calculating their debt to the mall after all of the damage.
Why and how? What factors are you using? Are you well versed in the price of elevator maintenance?
Not only how would you do it, why would you be doing that right now?
Coping mechanism?
You think?
Well, if you're focused on how much you're going to have to pay back, you're assuming that you're going to be alive.
I guess. It's a bit of a reach, though.
I'm exactly reaching.
Film.
I acknowledge that I am reaching. That is what I am attempting to do.
A dissension emerges, Sandro, as Greg blames Allison for Susie's death. And
Allison shouldn't have said it was her idea to go back.
It was.
And, well, that sets him off.
Yeah, that one beer really did a number on him.
Hey, earlier they had a 15-minute party where they were all liquored up enough to have an orgy in a room. Like, it's good, man.
Yeah, this movie really took a turn.
Mm-hmm.
Ferdy comes up with the idea to shut down the main computer. And I love this next scene. En route, a killbot grabs Greg and throws him over a railing, sending him to his death 3 stories down. Greg is super gung-ho here.
Yeah, he just books it towards him.
Yeah. Not sure how he doesn't notice the giant robot. Hard stop. I don't know.
He runs up the escalator, looks around, it turns around. The coast is clear, and the robot's right there. It's like it couldn't have been more than a foot back.
No, the coast is not clear, Greg. It's the robot that's killing people is right in front of you.
That was that one beer.
It was. Oh, this is a horrible look for Heineken, Sandro. Heineken fucks up all your judgment. But the first killbot returns and joins the other, as we were saying earlier. And their lasers have changed colors for some reason. Now they're green.
Well, now they're fully juiced up.
Oh, is that it?
Yeah.
That's
That's probably why the first couple of shots didn't work, is they were warming up.
Oh, yeah. So that red laser that blew up What's-Her-Face's head, that was weak setting? Because these green lasers do fuck all.
Well, you don't know how they work. Mechanically, they're very advanced.
I love your attempt at rationalizing the events of this movie. Normally, this is me. You're doing the Ben part now. And I think I understand your rage. It's all starting to make sense to me now. But the kids barricade themselves in a department store. This only slows the killbots down.
Well, yeah, because it's not like they have something that can open these doors.
Well, it has to use its weird laser cutter to get through the gates. While the other
needs to
tries
warm
to
up
cut
again.
them off by heading to the upper level of the mall.
It's at green setting. It has to warm up again.
Fucking greens. Oh my god. Oh, this movie. Tim, my friend, thank you. The teens set up mannequins as a distraction and just stand next to them. They don't even use them for cover or try and get out of the way. It's fucking pointless.
It's literally a open it and hope they're not the ones that get shot at.
Exactly.
We'll just give it more targets.
But one of the lasers fired by a killbot hits a mirror, reflecting the shot back, which causes it to short circuit and fire wildly as it spins. It kills Linda. And what the fuck is Rick doing? He gets on some weird metal trolley thing and just drives it into the robot, electrocuting himself. And this kills the robot somehow, which makes no sense. Explain this scene. Try and rationalize, Sandra, since this is your new role in this episode. Tell me how any of this makes sense.
Well, he figured that the bullets aren't working. So what he needs to do is collide into it with a very large metal object that moves slower than the actual robot, because that non-velocity will cause it to laugh itself to death.
But it somehow hits with such impact that it knocks him out of the seat.
Yes. Well, he wasn't wearing a seatbelt, and you can even be going 3 miles per hour if you're not wearing a seatbelt.
This thing wasn't going 3 miles per hour.
Yeah, well, I mean...
It was going at the speed of like a kid's wind-up toy. Which honestly, that's what these robots look like. A giant version of a kid's wind-up toy.
But the thing that you're forgetting here is that he didn't fall out of this trolley because of the collision. He looked down the aisle and saw that woman in a bikini again.
That swimsuit-clad woman has caused more destruction in this movie.
Yeah, you think it was a lightning strike. You thought it was a lightning strike. These robots saw this woman once and were like, we're fighting for her.
The lightning strike was God seeing the woman and collapsing.
Yep.
Well, we're down to Ferdy and Allison and one killbot now.
I don't even know.
Ferdy rescues Allison by shooting the robot in its laser, but is seemingly killed in the process. We're almost out of here. Yeah?
No.
Seemingly killed.
Yeah, okay.
His head's bleeding pretty bad. But
yeah,
Allison successfully evades the robot by hiding in a pet store. Second film in a row with pet stores. And I have to say, like, I'm skipping ahead just a little bit here, but like, there is a pursuit with the robot and her. Quite the stunt fall from the top floor down through that canopy. It looked really, really good.
That was inevitable.
Yeah. Sets up a trap for the robot in a paint store. And I've never, ever seen anybody break a door like that. That's one of my favorite parts of the movie. Do you remember?
No.
Dude, okay. She crosses her arms, puts her head into her forearms, and just runs into it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. You're not compressing your neck or spine in that way.
And that is obviously sugar glass because there's no way you're getting through the door that way.
Imagine that's the end of the movie. She goes to run through it, breaks her neck, and
concusses herself, and the robot just rides over her. She mixes paint and chemicals, and once the robot enters the store, she sets the mix ablaze with a flare, which causes the entire store to explode, killing the robot.
Oh, man. They don't kid around when they say paint is flammable.
Yeah. And Ferdy's alive.
How?
Just bleeding profusely from the back of his head. The two embrace as the sun rises, and I would love to say roll credits, end of movie, but there's a quick post-credit scene of another killbot. Yeah, another killbot, a fourth one, rolls up and says, "Have a nice day," and then cuts to black.
Sequel bait. That was very wishful thinking.
I would love a sequel to this movie.
I'll write it.
We should. That'll be a project for us. Oh, God.
All right. Well, that was Chopping Mall.
I thought it was Killbots.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. It was Killbots.
Yeah. Well, with the amazing special effects of this movie, Sandro, the budget has to have been insane.
Yeah. They probably... I would say they probably had to... I don't know... 50 to 100 Bazooka Joe wrappers mailed in for those?
Oh, yeah. Easily. Easily.
Each.
Yeah. No, take a guess.
100,000.
800,000. Estimated.
Must have been the rent for the mall.
It has to be something. Like, this is money laundering at its best, right? The gross, Sandro. Do you want to know what it brought in? Because I couldn't tell you, because I couldn't find it anywhere.
400 Bazooka Joe bubblegum wrappers.
Let's go with it. I can't imagine this made its budget back.
I'm still trying to figure out how it was made.
I'm happy it was, but I don't know how it was. Let's just jump into the ratings.
All right.
IMDb, quick guess, out of 10. What do you think?
8.
Oh, no way. 5.6.
Oh, okay.
Rotten Tomatoes, tomato meter. What do the critics give it?
14.
50. And the audience?
97.
39. You were so close. This is ridiculous.
I thought it would be one of those movies where people would be like, oh, it's hilarious to give it a high rating.
Yeah, me too. Honestly, I would have. And I have, actually. It's, this movie's a gem. Do you want to hop into awards? Because I really want to know what Tim was thinking here.
Absolutely. All right. So I'm gonna break the pattern a little bit, and I'm gonna go over Tim's best and worst before we get into it.
Yeah. All right.
All right. So his best, he wrote The Robots.
What? How's that
His
work?
worst.
Oh, character. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, best character. His worst, he wrote No.
Really put some thought into this one, Tim.
All right, so we'll get to his other awards when we get to them, but it kind of had to be read in order. So you start us off. Who did you have as your least favorite character or performance or whatever?
Mike. Enough said. Fuck Mike.
Oh, man, you're a hater.
Yeah, we've been over this. He sucks. I can go on as to why I hate him if you want, but
Wait, give me something.
Oh, he's just fucking detestable. I mean, the acting was quite good, but we're not talking best or least favorite performance. It's character. He was so detestable. Him just like, I don't even know if he was chewing that gum. He was abusing it with his face.
So that's your reason, because
His
he was
attitude-
chewing gum.
Yeah.
You know that he and Greg, up until the point that Mike died, did the exact same things, right? Convinced Ferdy to have a party, went to the party, had sex with their woman. The only difference was Mike then went to go get cigarettes.
It's a bad habit.
For her, not him.
That's fine. I stand by my award.
Okay, all right.
Fuck Mike.
I mean, you can pick him. I just... the reasoning, it's a little inconsistent.
I shouldn't have to have a reason for this one. It's
okay, all right,
Apparent.
fine. All right.
You?
Barbara Crampton as Susie.
No comment.
And it is for the performance. The second that she said in the pizzeria to Allison, "You should come to the party. It's going to be fun to the max," I was like, I don't like you. And then the biggest crime was trying to get her to act emotional. Well, most of the other characters didn't have to try, but her in that vent trying to convey claustrophobia, fear, and concern, not a good combination.
So you're going off performance.
Yeah, the last thing you want to do with this cast is have them attempt to act.
All right.
And what did you have for best or favorite character?
Barbara Crampton as Susie.
Okay.
Point of contention, good sir.
All right.
And it's because she was obviously overacting. And I can say this because I've seen a lot of Barbara Crampton's films. She is fantastic. And only having seen her other movies before and after this, you can tell that this is a creative choice. Or maybe a direction from Wynorski. But she was hamming it up hard. And I think she was the only performer in the film that knew how ridiculous it was and just tried to match it. I like the way she delivered her dialogue. I liked the way that, she, like, her emotional status was like uncomfortable watching it. But I know she can do it better. I've seen it better. And I thought the character of Susie fit in this movie more than Mike or Ferdy or Linda or anybody else. She really fit the tone and totally favorite character for me.
All right, then.
You?
I mean, unofficially Dick Miller, but...
Obviously, same here.
I know, but it had to be said.
Yeah.
So I officially have written down John Terlesky as Mike.
What?
Yeah.
Explain yourself.
The scene when he goes to buy cigarettes is probably the one scene across the entire cast that is actually acted well.
That's quite the statement.
Yeah. Go back and watch that scene when he's trying to show the robot his tag and he makes the little Evil Dead reference. He's actually doing a good job acting.
You're not wrong. That's all I'm going to say.
All right. So let's get on to Tim's favorite or most memorable line. And again, I'm just going to read this word for word, so I don't have further information to build on. When the guy buying cigarettes from a vending machine sees the robot and is like, "Oh, hey, I didn't even hear you." Not that the line is clever or anything, but because we've already seen the robots roll around and they're about as quiet as a riding lawnmower in a church.
Oh, he's so right. Oh, God.
Oh.
A horrible, horrible point of this film.
What was your favorite or most memorable line?
I honestly didn't have one.
Really?
Yeah. Nothing from this stayed with me. Nothing made me take notice. It was just garbage.
Wow.
Leads me to believe you have a really good one.
Well, I wouldn't say I have a really good one, but I actually had a couple that were contenders.
Okay.
So, because you didn't have one, I'll put up my most My closest one that was an honorable mention that I was going back and forth between, and it was when they were going to break into the sporting goods store.
Oh, Peck and Pause. Yeah, I will go with that along with you.
And he said, I got the key right here, right? That's not what I ultimately picked, but it was definitely in heavy contention. The one that I picked was when it was down to just Ferdy and Allison. Allison says to Ferdy, you want to split up? What could happen?
Yeah.
And Ferdy's response to me is just phenomenal. He looks at her almost deadpan as like, you want a list? Because we know in a horror movie, slasher movie, anything like this, you don't want to split up. And I just love that it's the character who earlier is implied to be like a bit of a movie fan. He talks about how he's seen the crab monster movie before. When they give him the gun, he says, oh, I know how to use this. I've seen, I think it's Dirty Harry or something like that.
Yeah, it is.
So it's like the movie fan in the group is the one that's just like, you know what happens when we split up. And he's just like, you want a list?
That is quite good.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. That probably is not only the most memorable, but best line of the movie.
All right.
That or Dick Miller.
I mean, I really did like and it was more for the delivery than the line itself, but when the robot shoots the taser thing and he just turns and he like looks, he's like, what the hell was that?
That man was fantastic.
All right. So for the most memorable or favorite scene, Tim has the headshot, for obvious reasons.
Yeah.
I mean, we got into it pretty good. I mean, here's the most inconsistent laser shooting a woman who just showed her butt in a Playboy underwear. Like, I don't think it needs to be explained.
Yeah, I have Leslie's butt shot followed by exploding head.
That's what you have for your favorite or most memorable scene?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. How's that hard to believe?
I mean, it's fine. It's fine.
What? You're judging me. Why?
I mean, it's a good scene. I don't know if it would be the best.
Oh, okay. Well, what's the best?
So the Dick Miller Award goes to the Dick Miller scene.
Good point. Yeah,
I also would have accepted the guy falling on the escalator just by the sight of a woman in a bikini.
That was pretty funny. That was pretty good. You're right.
All right. So let's get into our final thoughts here. Go ahead there, Ben.
Fucking fantastic.
Oh, wasn't it?
Oh,
It
my
was
God.
so good.
It was so much fun. I loved everything about it.
Hey, Tim, Revenge failed.
Fuck you, Tim.
No. We like Tim.
Oh, thank you, Tim.
And if you remember Mazes and Monsters, we kind of deserve some punishment coming our way.
Yeah, we definitely do. But oh my God, I was so happy to rewatch this movie, Sandro. It is hilariously terrible.
It is absolutely one of those movies that far transcends bad into bad that it's good.
Yeah, exactly. And while making notes for this episode, like normally as I'm typing notes out, I'm watching the movie and I'm like, oh God, how much is left? And I looked at the runtime. I'm like, oh no, it's almost over.
And I think that's another part of the movie that makes it a little bit more enjoyable is that it is so fast. It's like an hour and 16 minutes with credits.
Yeah.
So
it is super short.
Yeah. Even if you're not a fan of it, like because we've done movies before that were short, but we've also done movies before that just like, they're short, but they feel kind of long. They're either boring or scenes drag out or pacing is not very good. But this movie just flies by, and it's not for any negative reasons.
No, it's a blast. Like, even though I've been on rants about how much I hate Mike, it makes sense for that character to be in this movie. Like, as a package deal, this movie is a fantastic 80s horror. I'm going to say it's an 80s horror comedy. Because there's way too much to laugh at, and it can't all be accidental.
I mean, okay, no, I'm going to contest that. A lot of it is, a lot of the funniest parts were not meant to be funny.
Yeah.
The problem is that at the beginning of the movie, they had those scenes with like the kid with the ice cream cone, the couple trying to make fun of the robots, that showed what their attempt at comedy looks like, so that there's
Blatant
a clear juxtaposition to all of the stuff that you're laughing at later in the movie.
I will say that is their attempt at blatant comedy, as opposed to the rest of the movie, which is darker implied comedy.
Yeah, I think you're being too generous.
It's entirely possible. I really enjoy this movie, so maybe I am making up excuses, but it's a blast.
Yeah.
100% recommend to anybody.
Yeah. And like, it's super easy to find these days because it's available like everywhere for free streaming. So just throw it on. Like,
You're gonna have a good time.
It was, and I know we say this a lot, but like watching it with you the first time was definitely the most fun because this is the type of movie that it should go without saying you don't really watch by yourself. Like, this is your get together, have a pizza, rip apart a movie with your buddies and have a blast, and the time will just fly by.
Yeah.
And honestly, I think you'll come out of it in just a great mood.
Yeah. It's absolutely ridiculous and a super fun time. Do it.
All right. So that was our thoughts on 1986's Chopping Mall. If you would like to share your feedback with us, you can hit us up on social media. We are at BS Bargain Bin on Twitter, facebook.com/BS Bargain Bin. Leave a comment in the comment section of the YouTube video or head to bsbargainbin.com if you are listening to this on one of your podcast services. Ben.
Yo.
Next week is a big one, buddy.
Last episode of October?
Last episode of year 2 for us.
I know, season 2. Coming to a
So,
close.
for anybody who's not sure, we started this podcast on October 28th. We had our 1-year anniversary when we actually changed which day of the week it was, and it happened to be our 50th episode on October 28th. So there will be an episode on October 27th, a day before our anniversary, and I'm really hoping that you make it a good one. What are we watching next week?
Next week, Sandro, we are going to be covering a movie with one of our favorite actors.
Dick Miller?
No, unfortunately.
Oh, okay.
Fran Kranz.
Ooh.
Because we are covering 2018's You Might Be the Killer.
Rings of Saturn.
Chuck!
Sam?
I'm really scared. Maybe you could help me out.
Being responsible for an entire summer camp?
Nature's our nature.
What could possibly go wrong?
Everything started out so great, and now there's this crazed killer roaming the campground.
Wait, really?
Everyone is dead.
I mean, that sometimes happens.
Especially the camp counselors.
Like, is it an old camper back for blood?
How do you know that? How does knowing who it is help me not die?
Figuring out what they want could help you not die.
Smart.
Sam? I hate to ask you this, but are you sure you're not the killer?
Until next week, have a good one.
All the best.